On October 25, 2023, the quiet town of Lewiston, Maine, was rocked by a horrific mass shooting. The perpetrator, Robert Card, a member of the U.S. Army Reserve serving as a petroleum supply specialist, opened fire in a local bowling alley.
The mass shooting tonight in Lewiston, Maine, Maine's second largest city.
The attack resulted in the tragic loss of 18 lives and left 13 others injured.
40 years old, a trained firearms instructor, and in the Army Reserves. And police have put out photos of the suspect asking for help in finding this person.
Card was found dead 3 days later from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. In the days leading up to the shooting, Card's behavior had raised several red flags. Card's family had alerted the police in May about his growing paranoia and their concerns about his access to firearms. In July, Card shoved a coworker and subsequently barricaded himself in a motel room. The psychologist who saw Card at the Army hospital determined he needed further treatment. Card was admitted to Four Winds Psychiatric Hospital in Catanna, New York, on July 16th and spent 14 days there. The following month, the Army deemed him non-deployable and prohibited him from handling weapons during duty. Then, in September, one of Card's fellow reservists expressed to an Army supervisor his apprehensions regarding Card's behavior, stating in a text, "I believe he's going to snap and do a mass shooting." Despite these alarming behaviors, Card was not taken into custody before the shooting. Card's possession of numerous firearms added another layer of concern. These warning signs should have triggered the yellow flag process. Enacted in 2020, the yellow flag law allows another person to report a gun owner who seems to be a threat.
Many questions remain about law enforcement's response to the Lewiston shooter before he went on his rampage.
A state senator who sponsored Maine's yellow flag law, which allows for guns to be taken away from dangerous people, says it should have been used.
It's absolutely working. If you talk to law enforcement that have used it, there's untold lives that have been saved already.
Once reported, local law enforcement can either take that person into protective custody or order a mental health evaluation from a medical expert. If the doctor and police declare it necessary, law enforcement can apply for a court order to temporarily remove guns from the person. If all of the other steps have been taken, the court can temporarily suspend a gun license or remove guns. Despite the existence of this law and the clear signs of danger, Card was not in custody before the shooting. This failure has raised serious questions about the effectiveness of the yellow flag law and its implementation.
His case, as you read it in the papers, seems like the exact scenario we were considering when this law was implemented. And it's incredibly tragic that it wasn't used. At that moment, it's very logical to have taken Robert Card and put him in that process, in that yellow flag process.
In the aftermath of the tragedy, the Saginaw County Sheriff's Office launched an investigation into the incident. Maine Governor Janet Mills and Attorney General Aaron Frey formed an independent commission led by Daniel E. Wathen, a former Chief Justice of Maine's highest court, to evaluate what occurred before and after the mass shooting. The commission met 7 times beginning in November, hearing statements from survivors, victims' families, law enforcement, and members of the U.S. Army Reserve.
Those people who already know my husband, they were lucky. He was amazing. For those who didn't know him, they lost out.
The intent was to review what could have prevented this tragedy and any future tragedies.
This late night news represents the end of the beginning for Lewiston because it will be a long journey ahead, healing from this.
The Commission's report was released on Friday, March 15, 2024. The report is expected to shed light on the circumstances leading up to the incident and provide recommendations to prevent such tragedies in the future. The findings of this report are likely to have significant implications for the enforcement of the yellow flag law and other measures aimed at preventing gun violence.